Hey everybody, out here on the trails, smelling that beautiful mountain air on another late October morning, about 6:30 in the morning. Got my Sun Devil gear on, it's game day. Got my maroon and gold trail running shoes on. Anyways, like I said, I'm just breathing in this beautiful morning air. And there comes a time when I couldn't do that all the time. You know, for the longest time I prided myself, you know, never gone to the hospital. I've never been admitted to the hospital. And, you know, I've been lucky. All the sports I've done, basketball, cycling, all the stuff I do, you think something would have sent me to the hospital. One time I broke my arm playing basketball. I get it. But other than that, there's been nothing else. And until about 3 years ago, when I had my elective surgery, my nose job. You can see, didn't I do a great job? I got it enlarged. No, but seriously, I kept going to the doctor. Every year my doctor would say, "Oh, you have a deviated septum." And I've heard that term, never really thought about it. And that's all he said, and I just left. He goes, "Everything else is great." I just left. A couple of more visits, a couple of years later. "So, are you ever going to do anything about your deviated septum?" Finally I said, "Well, tell me about it. What are you talking about?" And you know, I guess there's the passages in your nose. You have cavities and all kinds of stuff, air passages. And apparently my right one was totally blocked almost. The left one was pretty bad. And I can breathe if I really, breathe in, but I never really thought about it. I didn't think there was a problem or an issue, really. Not to mention, all my sports I do as far as endurance goes, swimming, running, cycling, these are all affected by that. And he said, if you do all this stuff, you might as well have the best capacity to bring in oxygen. And I started thinking about it in different terms. And so I decided to have my deviated septum fixed. Of course, I didn't want to affect my beautiful singing voice. I was afraid if I got the surgery done, the nasal sound, my signature, would be lost. But I went ahead and did it anyway. Okay, here I am, about 12 hours away from my surgery to correct my deviated septum. And first time I've been in the hospital, or been in surgery for that matter. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and to hear if my voice changes. Some people say that your voice changes sometimes when you fix a deviated septum. What they'll be doing is fixing the passage from my nasal cavity so I can breathe better, and we'll see if that works. And what I've heard is it really does, and it'll help me in anything I do, whether it's running, cycling, or just living day-to-day life, sleeping. So we'll see, and I'll come back with an update after it's completed, and we'll see what I look like and what I sound. Okay, it is 1 p.m. and it's been about an hour and a half since I've been out of surgery. I'm back home. I have a little gauze thing to help drainage, but everything went well. And of course, during surgery it's like 5 minutes as far as I'm concerned. But so far I got anesthesia pretty quick, and that's it. Well, we'll see what happens. That's about all I know. Okay, here I am. It's about 48 hours after surgery, and I'm just giving you an update. Right now I've just got like a little catch gauze here because I'm not allowed to blow my nose. And the first night there was not a lot of sleeping going on. You know, you just sit there in bed and you try to be real still, but you have to be propped up at a 45-degree angle, which is not the normal sleeping angle. It's like kind of being on a plane. So I probably only slept 2 hours the first night, and in the morning it's like you have a stuffed nose and there's only blood, dried blood in your nose, and you have to kind of get that out. I took a shower, and you kind of have to let that just kind of drain out in the shower, and then you dress the wound back up with this. The first day I probably had to change this 3 or 4, maybe 5 times because it would just be covered with blood, and it wasn't fun. But then the second day I only probably changed it twice, so you could tell the bleeding was subsiding. And this morning it was like half mucus, half blood, and it's still bleeding a little bit, but it's not that bad. It's just, you just can't blow it. You have the 2 splints in my nose, and you just got to deal with it. It's like having a bad head cold. So, but I did sleep about 4 hours last night, so I doubled my sleeping, and I took a nap today for like an hour and a half. There's no pain in the actual nose, which is good. It's just the discomfort of having 2 things lodged up your nose, and it's like having a bad head cold at once. And that's pretty much it. I just got to get through the next couple of days, and I think it'll be over as far as the discomfort goes. And a week after I had the surgery 2 days ago, so I got about 4.5 days to go before they'll rip the splint. That doesn't sound good. Before they take the splints out, and then I'll probably have to have this catch basin back in here again because there's gonna be a lot of drainage, they tell me, because the splints will be out and the thing will just be healing. So then the next week it'll just take some time to heal. So anyways, I'll come back with another update, but so far so good. I can't tell any progress obviously because everything's stuffed in my nose, so I still can't see the benefits. It'll be when they take the splints out that I'll know. Okay, here I am back. It's about 4 days after surgery. I had it on Tuesday morning. It is now Saturday afternoon. As you can see, I don't have any gauze or anything. Really, the only thing that's really, there's no pain. It's more of just the discomfort of having those splints. They're, right up here. I just want to reach in and grab those things out. I have a couple of cotton balls I just shove up there just to catch some mucus and a little bit of blood, not too much blood anymore. Other than that, I'm just waiting for next Tuesday. That'll be a week after I have my surgery for the splints to be removed, and then I think I'll be able to breathe again. But right now, it's just discomfort having it. It's just like you have a cold, but you got this thing right in your middle of your nose, and it's just you just gotta live with it. And so far I am, but it's not as bad as I thought. And I can feel it's healing. Doesn't really hurt, like I said. It's just kind of an inconvenience, and my nose sounds really stuffed up. And I'll be interested to know how I sound once these things are out. So that's pretty much it. So that's the update, day 4. Okay, here I am again, about 6 days after surgery. Tomorrow will be the 7th day, and I get the splints taken out. Right now I've got a little bit of cotton swabs in my nose. There's just a little bit of drainage still. Until these are actually out, that's going to continue. And it's just getting real uncomfortable. You can tell the nose is healing inside, and it gets real itchy. And the inflammation is going down. I know this because I can start to feel air going through when I drink. I can feel there's actual air. Before it was just so tightly packed, there was no way. I was so stuffed up. But now I can actually feel air going through the nose. So that means the inflammation is probably going down, which is a good thing. The bleeding is subsiding. There's still a little bit of blood, and there's a lot of mucus, so that's to be expected. So that's it. Tomorrow, about 12 hours from now, I'll finally get these splints out, and I will give you an update after that. But that's pretty much it for now. And can't wait to start breathing. Alright, see you later.
Woo! Woo! Man, I remember that. That was a tough week. Having all that stuff shoved up your nose. Confined to the bed. Remember, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't lift like more than 5 pounds. Because they're afraid of the sutures and stuff coming undone. But as I'm watching this, you know, along with you, as I'm out here, I'm smelling the beautiful mountain air, like I said. I just noticed one of the benefits is the my senses of smell. Food, just things around me, I can smell now. And that can be a pro and that can be a con. I smell bad things more, but a lot of food, and you know, I'll be running along the trails here all sweaty and stuff, and then a lady will run by and all of a sudden it smells like roses. I don't know how you ladies do it, but it's like I can smell like people's perfume on the trails and stuff, and I never was able to do that. So that's one of the benefits, I think. Man, what a view. Anyways, just went up Corona Trail here in South Mountain. It's pretty steep, but I got to breathe through my nose, so it wasn't that hard. But seriously, one of the greatest things about having the surgery to fix my deviated septum was just the simple fact, with a lot of my endurance events like cycling up hills and things like that, when you're in competitive situations and you have to eat and drink a lot of times, and what I found hard was when you couldn't breathe through your nose, you know, just swallowing for a few, you know, not taking a couple of breaths and swallowing puts you behind. You can't just stop breathing for 1 or 2, you know, cycles when you're going up a hill, you know, full out. So when I'm going up trails or something and I have to eat, you know, I can still breathe through my nose, and that's one of the benefits that I've had since I've had the surgery. So that's another benefit. And yeah, that's one of the things that really help. Now I know what you're saying. I've had a lot of benefits about this surgery, but there's a big but coming, isn't there? Well, I'll tell you about that later. Now let's get back to the video.
Okay, here I'm back. 7 days after surgery. I just got back from my post-op office visit, and they took the splints out, and what a relief that was. It was uneventful. They came out in about less than 5 minutes. Both of them are out of there. They had a little suction, got some mucus out of there, a little dry blood, and pretty much that's it. Now I just have to do some nasal sprays about 10 to 15 times a day just to keep it moist while the wound heals and I can breathe. But right now, the wind, or not the wind, the air rushing through the wound kind of is irritating right now. It doesn't really hurt, it's just kind of, you're kind of just breathing cautiously. And you can't really blow your nose yet, so I have to go another week of just kind of being ginger, just, you know, being gingery with it. Anyways, I think it will be a success though once I finally get you know, going here. But otherwise, this whole thing was relatively just the way they said. It's uncomfortable at the worst, I think you could say, and I think in the long run, just a week or 2 is not a big deal. So next week I go for my final post-op visit. They'll just check it out, and after that I'll probably never have to go back again. So that's pretty much it.
and I'm excited and I can breathe. Well, at least I think I can. There's still a lot of buildup up there that's still kind of going to be around for a little while, but then after that, then it should be much better. So anyways, if you have to do this, I recommend, you know, if a doctor says you should probably get this done, I would recommend doing it. You know, breathing is important. Okay, here I'm back, day 11, and everything is going great. The last 3 or 4 days, there's been a little bit of scabbing and a lot of mucus, but I've just been kind of clearing it out, and every day gets better and better. Today is, like I said, the 11th day, 11 days after surgery, and there's a little bit of scabbing, but not much, and I can pretty much breathe, but you know, I'm still congested a little bit just because I can't really blow my nose. I'm not going to blow it right away right now. I'm taking like lukewarm to warm showers now. They say not to take hot showers because it increases blood flow and they don't want you bleeding. I haven't been riding my bicycle or lifting weights for the last 11 days. Next Tuesday, which is about 3 days, 3 or 4 days, no, 3 days, I'm going in for my final post-op appointment with my doctor, and at that point, hopefully they'll tell me I can resume normal activities. But you know, in the next week, I'll just get slowly back into things. But so far, so good. That's pretty much it. It's wasn't so bad. It's just the first 3 or 4 days is the worst, and it gets better every day. So that's all I got to report. Okay, so now for the negatives. There's a lot of positives in this, but the negative that I found, I've got a lot of allergies. And in Arizona, March, April, May, I have a runny nose. And before I got my deviated septum fixed, I didn't really have a problem with it because my nose was always stopped up. Once I got it fixed, it was like it was just a free flow of boogers during that season. So I always have to carry Kleenex with me all the time. And I really didn't know about it until I did get this fixed, so that is a negative. But if I add up all the positives and the negatives, it's a no-brainer. I think I would have done this a long time ago, probably back when I was in high school, so my parents would have paid for it. Keep in mind, you probably have to, there's probably like $1,000 deductible. You have to check your insurance. It is an elective surgery, but it does have something to do with performance and things like that and health. How you doing?
Hey.
So it's not like a nose job or something like that where it's just superficial. There is some health benefits to it. So make sure you check out your insurance, what they pay for and what they don't pay for. So yeah, I definitely think I would have done it a long time ago. So I'm giving it a thumbs up. Yeah, go ahead and go for it. And of course, when I do my bike rides, my snot rockets are out of this world.